All right, the background we're going to create is kind of like a sunset but with clouds. So the colors we're going to use is a yellow, some different colors of orange and red, and then you'll need a black. So if you ever don't know what color it is, because sometimes they get a little bit dirty, test them out on the side of your paper. That way you know what the colors actually look like. It's hard to tell which ones are black, so make sure you test it out on the side. So then you are gonna pick the yellow to begin with, and you're gonna choose a location for your sun. So it could be, anywhere around your paper. You don't have to do it where I do it, but we're gonna choose a location for our sun. So I'm gonna do it kind of on the side here, and I'm gonna draw like a sun. We know the sun is circular, but I'm gonna do it kind of like sketchy. So it's gonna be just kind of scribbling side to side. So it's not gonna be a perfect circle. So I'm just gonna fill it in, but I'm gonna go side to side. So this section is all where my sun will be. Then around it, I'm gonna be doing just lines and little sections of yellow. So this will kind of create almost like little clouds in the sky. It just won't look like perfectly going from like yellow to orange to red. So little sections of yellow around your paper. So make sure you're just like kind of scribbling. Eventually we'll fill in the whole paper with color. So I'm gonna just do little sections. If you ever get little chunks of your oil pastel, use it with your finger. We can save the oil pastel. Okay, then you are gonna go to an orange, and you're gonna be going, with your orange, you'll go right next to the yellows, and you'll just kind of start filling in the spots. So it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, because yours will look a little bit different, but fill in some of the spots. So leave some open. We're gonna go in with another orange too. So just some of your areas right next to like your yellows, on each side of the yellows a little bit. And make sure you're kind of pressing at a medium pace. It's okay to see like a little bit over the white paper coming through. That's okay. You don't have to press super, super hard like this. It doesn't have to be all the way filled in. It's okay if there's some white spots, as long as we're not leaving giant white spots like this. Okay, so then we are gonna go in with another orange, and you're gonna keep on filling in some of these white spots. So I'm gonna fill in the little sections. You're gonna try and overlap, so coloring on top of each other to fill in some of the orange in this area. Okay, so make sure you definitely go where there's still white areas with this orange. All right, so when I get down to here, I'm gonna kind of fill in a little bit more. And then way up here around this orange, I'm gonna fill in a little bit more too. Don't forget to overlap, so coloring on top of the other colors. That's gonna help blend. Okay, then I'm gonna go on my red and do red on both sides up here. And I can even bring in some of my red down here and just color over top of like my orange that I just did. So I'm just kind of putting it everywhere a little bit. Definitely if there's white spots, color in those white spots. And then the down area, the bottom area. And then I'm gonna do some black on the tops and bottom. So on the top, I'm gonna do black. And the bottom, I'm gonna do some black too. Okay, just scan your paper, make sure there's no white spots. If there is, fill it in with like an orange or a yellow. And, you know, double check. Otherwise, you're gonna have these big gaps where the colors aren't gonna blend well. Okay, then we're ready to blend the colors with water and a paintbrush. So I'm gonna use this red paintbrush. I think it works really nicely with the oil pastels, and then you just need some water. Make sure your water's clean, especially since we're doing like yellow. If you have dirty water, it'll get some of that dirty water onto your paper. So I'm gonna dip my paintbrush in the water, and I'm gonna start with my yellow. So I'm gonna go back from side to side on the yellow spots. So I started with like where our fake sun was. Then I'm gonna just kind of hop around, blend some of the yellows. Eventually it won't be perfect, but we're just gonna kind of blend some of those. Okay, then I'm gonna start just blending side to side. I'm gonna go side to side across the whole paper. So you'll notice that some of the red will get onto the yellow, but it'll look kind of like a sketchy little sunset where you'll see the clouds and everything. So go side to side, and we'll start to kind of fill in the spots. Whenever you feel like it's hard to move the paintbrush on the paper, get some more water and then keep going. So side to side. We're gonna hold up on the black. So when you get close to the black, just stop, and we're gonna go to the other areas that we need to. So remember, keep on going side to side. If you go up and down on some areas, it's gonna look weird. So making sure you always go in the same direction, side to side. All right, so I still have to get down here. Don't forget this, like the sides of your papers. Sometimes we forget those and then we have white spots. And we're saving the black for last because the black is gonna really be overpowering and it'll blend really well. And we don't want the whole paper to end up turning really dark. All right, so now that I got the whole paper blended, I'm gonna then do my red to my black. So I'm gonna go over my black and my red. It's gonna get very dark. Okay, so move around those puddles, and then I can do the top. Need a little bit more water for this last part. All right, so side to side. Okay, if your paper's super wet, you're gonna have to wait for it to dry to add then your silhouette over top. So I'm gonna clean up my brush, and I can put my pastels away.